So I get my feet set correctly, okay? And make sure I pay attention to my core, everything I'm supposed to do. I come to full draw. Please don't fly through this bale. I close my eyes, okay? And all I'm doing is pulling. Yo, so I don't know if I talked to y'all about this before, but I always take a Sharpie once I get my equipment set up and I place marks on it where if anything happens, it's nice and easy for me to reset. Here's a perfect example of where that came into play. I'm at full draw. I take one shot, cool, no problem. And I go to shoot again and I'm like, what is this? The thumb barrel is feeling weird. And here's what happened. I've had this release for at least a year now, if not two. Nothing like that's ever happened before. However, I don't know if you can see it, but I got a red mark here and another red mark here, so I can just put it back where it belongs, tighten it up, and go on about my day. I always take, when I'm hunting, I know everybody wants to shave weight, but I always bring this with me because you never know. You just never know, like when you've hiked in 2 miles, if something this simple is gonna ruin your hunt. So we keep it nice and simple. Because guess what, folks? We're shooting compound bows. There's wheels. There's all, for the layman's terms, there's, there's axles on here. There's strings. There's different things turning and pulling and opposing forces and stuff. With technology, things can go wrong. Gone are the days of for most of us, we're not shooting stick bows where either if your stick is good and your string is good and your arrows don't break, you're fine. There's a lot that can go wrong with our equipment, so you got to put some measures in place to kind of mitigate that. So just a quick tip. This hasn't bit me before in the field, but if this happened to me out in the woods, I would still be fine because look, I'm lined back up perfectly. I have a red and black mark here on this portion that's kind of fixed, and then the barrel that rotates, I have another mark here, so I can just line them up. Your marks are going to be different because you got a different setup of what feels good to you and whatnot, but let me go ahead and let another one down range. Hey guys, I'm shooting JBK strings and cables. I've had these strings and cables for about 2 years. This dude has awesome customer service. He even sent me a gift certificate for a buy one, get one free. This is literally the first bit of peep rotation that I've had. It was turned just a little bit here. I have not had to mess with these at all the whole time. So it was sitting perfectly, and it's kind of turned, just barely this way. So I just put a half turn in this bottom string when I get home and get it right back squared away. But this is by far the best set of strings and cables that I've ever used. I'm not sponsored by this guy at all. He don't even know my name, but I just thought I'd put that quick plug out there. Because if y'all are tired of, especially the factory strings that come with a lot of these bows, you shoot your bow for a month consistently and your peep side will be facing the whole other way and you'll have to twist it by hand every single time. All right, so I'm just shooting a couple bombs at 92. I'm not taking today too seriously at all. Okay, so today I'm shooting like absolute trash, okay? My shoulder's tired. You saw how long it took for that shot to break. So I'm gonna do a couple things to just kind of get my mind back right, get my body back used to shooting with good form. We always do maintenance on our bows, on our strings, on our cables. We make sure our arrows are perfect, but a lot of times we neglect the mental aspect of archery, okay? So I'm gonna set my bow down for a little bit. And then I'm gonna get to what I do a lot of times to just get my mind back right. Sometimes that muscle memory breaks down. We did a video, it was called like the 5 biggest mistakes that we've done or that we've made hunting in Hawaii, right? One of them was skipping working out because we wanted to be fresh while shooting. Well, some of the consequences of not making that mistake anymore, so getting my workouts in first, is a lot of times my chest, my shoulders, my back will be sore and tired when I'm shooting, okay? So it affects my form. So what I wanna do, I just wanna get back to ground zero, the basic things the fundamentals that I used to do to be able to shoot those long range shots, okay? They make contraptions or whatever where it's like a bow grip and whatever, and then you connect the other end to your release. I'm not doing all of that. I took a paracord loop and I got it roughly to my draw length, and I just focus on my form. I want my feet beneath me. Don't focus on the slides too much now. My feet right under my shoulders, or this right foot, for me as a right-hand shooter, can be advanced a little bit. But whatever it is, you want to have this planted before you come to full draw. I noticed too, because my core has been sore, my shoulders has been sore, I've kind of been like kicking my hip out a little bit when I've been drawing my bow. I'd come back here to full draw, and then I have to get myself realigned, and then it'll take long. Then I'll be finally getting in to my anchor, and then I would start to focus, and then I would start to pull back, and it would take too long for my shot to break off, okay? If you know in your mind that it normally takes you from full draw to shot execution 8 seconds, but now it's taking you 12, 13, 14 seconds, just go ahead and stop. Get back, grab you a piece of paracord, and just remind your body, remind your mind what it should feel like to execute a clean shot with no pressure. So all I'm doing, I found my anchor point, and now I am trying to squeeze my back muscle to pull my elbow straight back. And I learned this from John Dudley. You make a bicep when you come, as it's releasing, you make that bicep. So you're not getting that where you would get some weird left and right tears, because when the shot breaks, you're coming out here. You're breaking and then it's out here. So that's gonna put a lot of movement on the front of your bow, especially with a high let-off setup like a lot of us hunters shoot. So I get it, y'all not archery nerds, you're bow hunters, y'all a bunch of savages, hard body, hard mind people, but guess what? You still gotta recalibrate yourself. Same way you do with your GPS, you're trying to go somewhere, and now you gotta turn your phone around 15 times in a circle so Google Maps knows where you're at again. Same thing with your body, you just gotta recalibrate. So reminding myself what it feels like to execute a perfect shot. And I'll just sit there and I'll do this over and over again. Sometimes I'll do this at my desk. I'll do this while we're watching TV. Another thing that I learned from John Dudley, right? This front shoulder. All right, so if you're sitting here pulling, and it's like, man, it's taking so much pressure to get this bow to go off, what's happening is this front shoulder is starting to collapse. So you're applying pressure back here, but it's collapsing here. So instead of having the opposing forces, you kind of got them going in the same moment, in the same direction. And then this arm starts to shake and break down under the pressure of really just the bow weight itself and the draw weight. So just focus on locking in, squeeze, pull, surprise. Once I'm like super comfortable with that, rep after rep after rep, generally, a rule of thumb for me, if my wife ain't making fun of me yet, I haven't done it enough. If she get tired of hearing, if Crystal hasn't gotten tired of hearing click, then I probably need to keep practicing, okay? Just to recreate those pathways in my brain, that mind-muscle connection. Bodybuilders do it, basketball players do it, football players do it. It's time for archers to do it as well, okay? So then I'll show you we'll do this right now. Another thing that I noticed I was doing yesterday, I had like this death grip. You know how you drive by somebody and they're all up on the steering wheel and they're white knuckling because they're scared to drive? Well, we do that as archers sometimes with our release. So check it out. these fingers really, I'm really pulling with this and this, okay? And then I'm just resting the other fingers here. So as I'm pulling, I have a little bit of preloaded pressure here. I like this barrel in the same spot every single time. That's why I have these markings on here, so that this barrel will rest the same spot here every time, okay? So as I'm pulling and I'm kind of relaxing these fingers, this actually gets pulled into the thumb, and it gives me that surprise release where I'm not thumb punching it, okay? So, but if you have a death grip on here, this isn't gonna be able to make it into your thumb. And that may be why you feel like, man, I'm pulling so hard and it just won't go off, right? You might think something's wrong with your release. Nothing's wrong with your release. You gotta relax. You got that 5 fingers of death grip that you need to just, you know, get back into that woosah moment of archery, okay? Breathe, pull, 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 and boom. It should be like, oh, it went off. So I get my feet set correctly, okay? And make sure I pay attention to my core, everything I'm supposed to do. I come to full draw. Please don't fly through this bale. I close my eyes, okay? And all I'm doing is pulling. Okay, that is so stress-free right there. I'm not aiming at anything. I'm not worried about my pin, none of that. All I'm doing, okay, just like we did with the paracord and we were pulling to create that mind muscle connection, I'm doing the same thing right now. I might do the next week or so with just nothing but blind bale shooting. I did take a peek though. I did open my eyes because I was like, I don't want to accidentally blindly shoot the back of one of my arrows. But what I did notice when I took that peek, when I opened my eyes, my bow was set up correctly, okay? If you went and got your bow set up somewhere and when you come to full draw, if you close your eyes and open up and you can't look directly through your peep and have a good sight picture, your bow is not set up correctly and you're always gonna be fighting your bow. When you're trying to aim, you're always gonna be torquing your hand, your arm or something to get your pin float proper. So if that's the case, then you need to go back to your bow shop or go to a different one who will actually set you up properly. Because when you stand with your feet like this, you know, the same way you stood in the shop when they were asking you if your peep height is correct, you should be able to do the same thing right now. Come to full draw, get that same anchor point, open your eye, you should be looking dead through your peep sight. So I'm looking through my peep sight, but the sight picture is high. I don't want to shoot off at the target. So pull, pull, pull. Make that bicep at the bottom, okay? I've been shooting this arrow that I haven't taken the time to fletch for like 2 weeks now, but I got some new arrows coming in. Look, everything about archery does not have to be go out there and shoot at 80 yards today or 100 yards today and show how accurate you can be at long range. So this right here will keep you from target panic. If you have target panic, that might be the cure to it, okay? Take a step back. Don't take yourself too seriously. Go to the range, go to the closest bale that you can get to. Obviously, Bushwhackers Archery Club got plenty bells, flat range, 3D course, all of that good stuff where you can shoot. But you don't have to live stressed out in the archery world and the bow hunting world. You can be very, very accurate if you would just sometimes take a step back so you can take plenty steps forward, okay? Hey folks, so this is the results of my blind bale shooting. Eyes closed, I would take a step forward after each one because really don't want to, like I said, don't want to ruin my arrows. But look, that's what it should look like. It should just be eyes closed, pull, let it go. Eyes closed, pull. Oh, I didn't make the bicep this time. Oh, I came out this way this time. Okay, oh, that was perfect. Let me do that again. Oh, sweet, I strung another perfect one together. And before you know it, when you're aiming and you're just letting that pin float at that target and you're just pulling, 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 and then you get that surprise release and that bicep goes, you know, that bicep contracts, that arrow flies perfectly, and you're good money, right? You can enjoy the 3D course, shoot with your buddies, shoot an animal, and you built these good habits. Be careful with always shooting in the wind. Okay, if you're always shooting in the wind and you're trying to force the bow back on target and then find a good spot to pull, if you hunt or shoot in a place like that, you need to be doing this a minimum of once a week. Minimum of once a week. And one other thing that I didn't talk to y'all about is recording yourself. Record yourself. You're gonna see your hips do one of either here or your hips gonna come out here. That's why we in that perfect sight tape video, that's why we started off with that Happy Gilmore clip. We was talking about it's all in the hips, okay? And then also when you record yourself, you'll be able to see how long it takes for your shot to break from full draw to the shot going off. You should be within that same range, give or take a couple seconds every single shot for your maximum accuracy. We are bow hunters around here, I got you. But to be the best bow hunter that you can be, you really want to be the best archer that you can be. I hear y'all in the forums talking about how much we owe the animals that we shoot and take home and eat and bring back to the family. Okay, well, if you believe that, then practice that and act it out. Go to the range, go to the gym, make it happen, improve yourself, okay? Hey, I know y'all know how to spell the channel. It's Privileged. We're bow hunters around here. We're a family, we're a community. Like, share, comment, subscribe like y'all have been doing. We love y'all. Peace.